What made you realize your family wasn't normal? The iron-shaped scar on my shoulder blade started itching during math class, and I had to grip my desk to stop myself from scratching it through my shirt. My mother had given me that particular scar when I was 12 and forgot to buy her cigarettes on the way home from school. She heated the iron to its highest setting and held it against my skin for 10 seconds, explaining that pain was the only teacher children like me understood. My father counted out loud from his chair to make sure she held it long enough for the lesson to really sink in. He always said that 10 seconds was the perfect amount of time to leave a permanent reminder. When Kylie invited me to her house to work on our science project, I kept making excuses because I was terrified I'd do something that would give away how messed up my life really was, but eventually I agreed. My parents barely noticed when I told them I'd be home late because they were too busy throwing dishes at each other over who had spent the last $20 on beer instead of keeping it for cigarettes. By the time I left, my mom was using scissors to cut up my baby pictures, while my father threw steak knives at the remaining family photos on the wall. My mother had already started on her second bottle of wine, which meant by the time I got home, she'd either be passed out on the floor somewhere or looking for someone to hurt. Walking into Kylie's house felt like stepping into one of those perfect family shows that only existed on TV. Her mom was standing at an ironing board pressing wrinkles out of Kylie's school uniform while humming some song from the radio. When she saw me, she smiled instead of demanding to know why I thought I deserved to exist in her space. My whole body flinched when she lifted the iron, but she just kept smoothing out the fabric. While we worked on our project, Kylie complained that her mom was so annoying for checking her grades online every single day and making her study. Her dad came home from work with flowers for his wife and asked how everyone's day went like he actually wanted to hear the answer, instead of just grunting at everyone to leave him alone. When they disagreed about whether to order pizza or cook steaks on the grill, they just laughed about it and picked something they both wanted, instead of it turning into a 3-hour war that would end with someone sleeping in the car. During dinner, they asked about our science project, our teachers, and our friends. Nobody even once mentioned how we were ungrateful parasites who had ruined their lives by being born. When Kylie rolled her eyes because her mom reminded her about her dentist appointment that was tomorrow, I had to physically bite my tongue until it bled to keep from screaming that she should be grateful her parents cared if she had teeth instead of being the reason she was missing some. I was missing a tooth from when my dad punched me for breathing too loud during his football game. After dinner, her parents helped us with our project without calling us stupid, and her mom brought us cookies and apologized that they were a little burnt. I almost started crying because my mother had held my hand on the stove until I had second-degree burns for eating a cookie without permission when I was 7 years old. Kylie's mother insisted on driving me home after we finished our project. Her knuckles turned white from gripping the steering wheel so hard when she saw my house with its plastic-covered windows, beer bottles scattered everywhere, and the fresh knife marks in the front door. She could hear the sound of glass breaking, followed by my mother's drunk shrieking about how she should have gotten an abortion when she had the chance. She handed me a piece of paper with her phone number written on it and said to call anytime, day or night, if I ever needed anything. We both knew she meant when things got really bad, not if they did. When I got inside, I found my mother unconscious on the bathroom floor in a puddle of her own vomit, and my father watching TV with bloody knuckles. That night at Kylie's house shattered every lie I'd been telling myself about how everyone's parents hurt them, and this was just how people showed love. I started taking pictures of every new burn, bruise, and cut, and hiding them in my locker at school where my parents couldn't find and destroy them like they did with anything else that might get them in trouble. The counselor who'd been asking questions for years finally got the complete truth about the monsters wearing parent costumes who I had to survive every single day.